Hey, Shawn here from Chordistry.com. Today I'm going to show you how to play Ed Sheeran's Grade 8, particularly the version before his whole loop pedal situation. So we're talking about when he played it on Ustream, when he played it for that house party, and the version that I transcribed when he was on a boat, just hanging out, playing guitar, traveling down the river. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can click the link in the description to watch that version. Again, that's where I got all the chords and the strum patterns from. Also down there, you can find the link to the chord chart and the playthrough video over on Patreon. All right, so he plays this with a capo on fret 3 in that video, but I've also seen him play it on fret 2 and fret 1. So you have some options, though it's generally the same, the chords and the strumming. It's the song has evolved over time, so there's a lot of different subtleties in between each version. So I'm gonna give you just one of the many ways to play this song, okay? So overall, it's pretty easy. We just have some basic open chords, but in the later part of the song, we do have to do some bar chord shapes. So watch out for those. So let's start with those chords first, and then we'll talk about the really cool strum patterns that we do throughout this song. All right, so we're in standard tuning with the capo again on fret 3. So we're using just 4 chords for a majority of this song. These chord shapes here: E minor, G major, C major, and B7. Now at the end of the song, he changes it up and we play this right here: E minor 7, C, and D. And we're gonna take a look at those bar chords after we get the front half of this song down, okay? So here's the chords. E minor goes like this. Your second and third fingers go behind fret 2 on the A and D strings. We're gonna strum all 6 strings, except, in this tune, he doesn't really play a lot of the high E string. So even though you could play all the way up to the high E string, we're not gonna today. Just up to the B string. Same thing goes with G. We're only playing a G chord like this, not like this or like this, but just like this, 2 fingers here. Your first finger goes behind fret 2 on the A string, your second finger goes behind fret 3 on the low E string. Strum up until the B string, and that's going to be a G major. C major goes like this. Your first finger is behind fret 1 on the B string, your second finger is behind fret 2 on the D string, and your third finger is behind fret 3 on the A string. Strum the A, D, G, and B strings. And then a B7 goes like this. Your first finger is behind fret 1 on the D string, your second finger is behind fret 2 on the A string, and your third finger is behind fret 2 on the G string. Just like on the C major chord, strum the A, D, G, and B strings, and that's a B7. You do hear him sometimes hit that open high E, but not all the time. And I don't think he does it intentionally, so just up to the B string is fine. Great, so those are the 4 chords we're going to use in this song. Now let's take a look at how the chords mix with the strum pattern. Okay, so here's the main strum pattern. We're going to break it down really in depth because that's where this song really shines, is this strum pattern. Okay? That's how it goes. That's the main chord progression and strum pattern. So here's how it goes. We're just gonna strum the open strings at the beginning. Okay? And then we're gonna hammer on the E minor shape. So it's like that. And then you do a down up strum followed by a slap. Okay, there's a few options for how to get that snare drum sound. The way he's doing it is this: by placing this part of the hand down on the strings right before you strum, You're actually just strumming through the muted strings, and it makes a snappy kind of sound. The other way that you can get that sound is by hitting the strings on the fretboard. So that was kind of a mixture of both right there. But that's the kind of sound that you want, that bright, snappy snare drum sound. Okay? So after that, we're going to do another up, down, but muted. So with your left hand, just mute the strings and go up, down. Okay? And then we do this. So we're on a G chord now. We're going to go up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down. There's only 2 actual chords in there, and they're on the beginning and the end. So it's up, mute, mute, down. All right? Let's do it from the top. Okay, after that, we're going to go down, up, just all mutes. Down, up. That's 4 E and A right there, and that would mean we're on the end of the measure, which is, now we're going to switch to the C major chord, so we have a new chord shape. So, just like the E minor, we're going to hammer on our first and second fingers this time. Not the whole shape like E minor, but very similar. We're just hammering on our first and second fingers. Okay? Same thing goes. We're doing the exact same strum pattern with C and B7. So it's... Okay? And then on the B7. Up, down, down, up. Okay? That's how it goes. I'll play it from beginning to end slowly for you so you can see all the little bits. When you're muting on the B7 chord, notice that I use my pinky to mute the strings, because you can't just lift off your fingers like you can on some of the other chord shapes. You have to actually mute the strings and then like bounce back and forth from the chord to the muted sound. So to do that, use your 4th finger to mute and unmute the strings. You might just want to practice that right there. Up, down, up, down. So that's the main chord progression and strum pattern that carries us through most of the song. So here's how the song works. We're going to do that 8 times for the verse and the pre-chorus. So I'm going to smash those 2 parts together. The verse and the pre-chorus is 8 times around. On the last time, on the very last chord, B7. So I'll just play it for you. He hits a G bass note before going to E minor again. It's very subtle, but I just wanted to point it out. Here's the very last time before going into the chorus. So it's E minor, G, C, B7. He hits that G, which could be technically a G major chord if you hit the other strings in there too. And then it goes to E minor. One more time, here's the last time before the chorus. Like that. And then we're into the chorus, which is just more of the same. We're playing that same chord progression and strum pattern for 4 more times, okay? Nothing special, just once you have the pattern down, you can feel free to do some improvisation too. Vary up the strum pattern, do some slides and stuff. I know he does a ton of slides in this version. He does like stuff like that. You know, add a little bend to the chord there. That sort of thing. Feel free to improvise a little bit with this jam. It's really just like a jam that you loop and create some variations on, make your own. Once you finish the chorus, which is again 4 times through that chord progression we have learned and got the strum pattern for, you just play the song again from the top. After the second chorus, we're in the bridge now. So the bridge goes like this. We're just going to play an E minor and then chill out for 2 measures. Still kind of, you know, keeping the groove going, but just on the first beat. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So that's the bridge right there. We're just playing that E minor and continuing that strum pattern, keeping the groove going, keeping that snare on 2 and 4. Okay, so after the bridge, we're going to be on our little outro section, which is different than the rest of the song. We're playing these chords now. E minor 7, C, and D. Those last 2, well, all 3 of them are bar chord shapes. Here's how this part sounds. And that's the end of the song right there. Okay, let's get these shapes down. The first chord is E minor 7, if we're thinking about it from the capo. So it's going to be on fret 7 of the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right here. Really, it's fret 10 if we're thinking without the capo, but from the capo, it's 7. So 7, 9, 7, 8, 7, because we're barring across fret 7 with our first finger. Our third finger has fret 9 on the D string, and our second finger has fret 8 on the B string. Strum the A to high E strings. Okay, C major goes like this. First finger on fret 3 of the A string. 1, 2, 3, and then our third finger on fret 5 of the D, G, and B strings. Just like that. If you can't quite do that little bend with your third finger, you can of course do this as well and have 2, 3, and 4 get those 3 strings. Okay, so that's C. Slide it up 2 frets, so it's 5, 7, 7, 7, and that's D major. So we have E minor 7, C, and D that we're working with before we get to the very end, which is when we get back to those open chord shapes. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Pretty much the same strum pattern, just we're switching the chords that we're playing. So we're doing an E minor 7, hammering on like we have been. So hammer on that. So, okay. Then we go to C, and then we go C, D. That's the first round. E minor 7 to C, and then C to D. Okay, the second time around, it's E minor 7, C, and then D, E minor 7. Okay? The third time is the same time as the second time. E minor 7 to C, and then D to E minor 7. And then we go and play E minor, G, followed by C, B7, E minor, really quick. Like that. Down, down, up, down, up, down. And that finishes the tune. You can actually do like a kind of flamenco strum at the end there. Anyways, let's go back to the bar chords and put that all together. So it's E minor 7, C, C, D, E minor 7, C, D, E minor 7. Do that again, E minor 7, C, D, E minor 7, and then we do E minor to G, C, B7, E minor. And that's the end right there. So that's going to be it for this lesson. If you have any questions, you can put them right in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can hit that like button. If you want to get more lessons just like this one in your subscription box, hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching. My name is Shawn, and I'll see you again in another lesson.